As the United States and Iran prepare for talks in Pakistan, Israel has continued its bombardment of Lebanon, with more than 300 people killed and at least 1,150 injured in a single day of strikes carried out across the country on Wednesday. The escalation has intensified pressure on Lebanon's already strained healthcare system. World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has urged Israel to withdraw a forced evacuation order affecting 2 major hospitals in the Beirut area, warning that the country's health system is struggling to cope with the growing number of civilian casualties resulting from Israeli attacks. The Israeli military has confirmed it carried out strikes on Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. In a statement, the army said it had begun targeting Hezbollah launch sites. Lebanon state-run national news agency reported multiple strikes across southern Lebanon, including in Bint Jbeil, a town described as symbolic, where Hezbollah had earlier said it was engaging Israeli forces. An AFP correspondent reported that first responders were searching for survivors at the site of an airstrike in the southern village of Chukin. Following the strikes, air raid sirens were heard in parts of northern Israel, including Haifa. However, no injuries were reported, and authorities later allowed residents to leave shelters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a video message that there would be no ceasefire in Lebanon. Addressing residents in northern Israel, he said military operations against Hezbollah would continue with full force until security is restored.
תושבי הצפון היקרים, אני גאה בכם. אתם ממשיכים לעמוד איתן. אני מבקש לומר לכם, אין הפסקת אש בלבנון. אנחנו ממשיכים להכות בעוצמה את חיזבאללה, ואנחנו לא נעצור עד שנחזיר לכם את הביטחון. ההישגים הכבירים שלנו, גם באיראן וגם נגד ציר הרשע, הביאו לשינוי היסטורי במעמד של ישראל באזור. הם גם הביאו לשינוי לקשרים שלנו עם מדינות, קשרים שלא היו בעבר. לאחר פניות חוזרות ונשנות של ממשלת לבנון לפתוח איתנו במשא ומתן לשלום, אני הנחיתי אמש בקבינט לפתוח במשא ומתן ישיר עם לבנון כדי להשיג 2 יעדים. אחד, פירוק חיזבאללה מנשקו, והשני, הסכם שלום היסטורי, בר קיימא, בין ישראל ללבנון. ישראל חזקה מאי פעם, איראן חלשה מאי פעם. אני כבר הבאתי 4 הסכמי שלום עם מדינות ערב, אני מתכוון להביא עוד. שלום אמיתי, שלום מתוך עוצמה.
Meanwhile, more than 60 countries joined Indonesia in condemning attacks on United Nations peacekeepers in Lebanon. In a joint statement delivered at the UN by Indonesia's envoy Umar Hadi, the countries condemned what they described as persistent attacks on the United Nations interim force in Lebanon, including incidents that killed 3 Indonesian peacekeepers. The statement also noted that peacekeepers from France, Ghana, Indonesia, Nepal, and Poland had been injured in recent attacks in southern Lebanon. It expressed deep concern over the humanitarian situation, citing significant civilian casualties, widespread destruction of infrastructure, and the displacement of more than 1 million people. According to preliminary UN findings, 1 peacekeeper was likely killed by Israeli tank fire on March 29, while 2 others were killed the following day by an explosive device believed to have been placed by Hezbollah.
We, the troop contributing countries to the UN Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, joined by several other member states and the European Union, express deep concern over the escalation of tension in Lebanon since 2 March 2026 and its impact on the safety and security of peacekeepers. We condemn in the strongest terms the persistent attacks against UNIFIL, including the latest grave attacks which cost the lives of 3 Indonesian peacekeepers and injured several other peacekeepers from France, Ghana, Indonesia, Nepal, and Poland. We also firmly condemn the unacceptable aggressive behavior towards UNIFIL personnel and leadership recently observed. We recall that peacekeepers must never be the target of attack, and that attacks on them are prohibited while they enjoy protection under international law and relevant UN Security Council resolutions and may constitute a war crime. The safety and security of UN peacekeepers is non-negotiable, and we urge the UN and the Security Council to exert all tools available at its disposal to strengthen the protection of UN peacekeepers in an increasingly dangerous environment.
UNICEF has warned that the intensification of hostilities is having a devastating impact on children. The agency reported that Israeli airstrikes killed 33 children and injured 153 in a single day. Since March 2nd, around 600 children have been killed or injured in Lebanon. UNICEF said children were being pulled from rubble, with others reported missing or separated from their families. Of the more than 1 million displaced people, approximately 390,000 are children. The agency reiterated that international humanitarian law requires the protection of civilians at all times and called on all parties to halt the use of explosive weapons in densely populated areas. Iran's parliamentary speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf issued a warning regarding ceasefire violations in Lebanon, stating that such actions would be met with strong responses. Separately, Iran's Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei said in a written message that Iran does not seek war with the United States or Israel but would not renounce its rights.
حتما غرامت تک تک صدمات وارد شده و خونبهای شهیدان و دیه جانبازان این جنگ را طلب خواهیم کرد و حتما مدیریت تنگه هرمز را به مرحله جدیدی وارد خواهیم نمود. ما طالب جنگ نبوده و نیستیم، ولی به هیچ وجه از حقوق حقی خود دست نمی کشیم و در این جهت همه جبهه مقاومت را به طور یکپارچه در نظر داریم.
In the United States, President Donald Trump warned Iran against imposing tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz, amid reports that Tehran may be charging fees. He also accused Iran of failing to uphold its commitments under a 2-week ceasefire agreement, stating that it was doing a poor job of allowing oil shipments through the waterway. In a series of social media posts, Trump also criticized several conservative commentators, including Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, for opposing his stance on Iran. Oil prices have continued to rise due to concerns over restricted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz and ongoing regional instability. Brent crude futures rose to $96.75 per barrel, while US oil futures also increased. Additional pressure came from earlier attacks on Saudi Arabia's oil production facilities, which reduced output and pipeline throughput. The International Monetary Fund has said it will lower global growth forecasts due to the conflict. Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva warned that the war's economic impact would include higher energy costs, infrastructure damage, supply disruptions, and reduced market confidence. The IMF estimates it may need to provide up to $50 billion in financial assistance to affected countries, with food insecurity expected to impact at least 45 million people.